What's up, folks? Your buddy Fatalroadie. Tonight we're going to do a Raw recap. We started off with Seth Rollins coming out. He's talking about his matches at Clash of Champions. Talks up Braun Strowman, mentioning that he's large, and talks about his attack by The Fiend. Rollins says he will be facing The Fiend at Hell in a Cell. On the Titantron, Bray Wyatt shows up. He points out that Seth Rollins has made some mistakes in the past, and that The Fiend may have some more to say to him later tonight. Wyatt ends the segment by saying, "See you in hell." After that, the commentary team talk up the King of the Ring matches and everything else coming up, and everything seems to be upside down. Go home, Kevin Dunn, you're drunk. Backstage, Braun Strowman says he's going to beat up the next guy that steps into the ring. Then, of course, we got Rudolph coming out for the Tag Team Summit.
Bruh.
They're joined by the Revival. Rude starts to run his mouth, then Braun Strowman comes out. He lays out the Revival. Robert Roode bails out, leaving Dolph Ziggler to take the brunt of everything. Strowman makes a lap around the ring, knocking everybody down. Once again, missing Rude. Once again, 20 minutes into the show, and we're finally getting to our first match. Glad to see we're back to our old ways, WWE. It's going to be a 6-man tag team match. What? Great. AJ and OC versus Cedric Alexander and the Viking Raiders. This is an match. AJ hit the phenomenal forearm onto Cedric Alexander, got the pin. After the match, the OC and the Viking Raiders fight it out, pretty much taking each other out of the equation. Cedric Alexander and AJ Styles fight on the turnbuckle, and AJ hits the Styles Clash from the second rope. You then have Baron Corbin versus Chad Gable in the King of the Ring finals, which was supposed to be on Clash of Champions, but they changed that. The commentary team are talking up Chad Gable like he already won the damn thing. This is an okay match, though. I do hope you like rest holds. They gave this match a long runtime, though. Chad Gable was fighting his ass off, but ended up catching the end of days, and Baron Corbin is now the 2019 King of the Ring. And is later announced that tomorrow on SmackDown will be his coronation. Great, can't wait to see that. Although I do think it's going to be interesting. We then have the Street Profits backstage for a gender reveal party for Maria Kanellis.
What the fuck?
Really, WWE? Really? Your ratings are slumping and we just think, oh, let's have a gender reveal party. That's going to kick up the ratings? Yeah, okay. Maria announces that it's going to be a boy and then tells Mike Kanellis that the father of her child is Ricochet.
Dude.
Mike Kanellis gets in Ricochet's face, slaps him, tells him he's going to be in the ring and he better get out there. And I will say this was probably the funniest portion of this. Montez Ford was talking about having a baby on a pole match, and then it was mentioned about a Maria on the pole match, and Montez says, I think Maria on the pole is how she got into this problem in the first place. So our next match, Mike Kanellis versus Ricochet. Kanellis wants a fight, but Ricochet tries to reason with him, but it doesn't work. We get a fight. Short match. Ricochet wins after a recoil. We then go to a segment of the Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt is hanging up pictures of his victims on his wall of friendship and says it's time for him to add more friends. After the commercial, Maria Kanellis is dressing down her husband. She says that Ricochet isn't the dad, that this man is. It's the Bulgarian brute Rusev. Holy shit! Where has he been since forever? Rusev gets into the ring. Mike says he doesn't want to fight. He tries to escape, but Rusev chases him down, gives him a beatdown, gets him in the ring. Then I guess we're having a fight. Mike Kanellis ends up beating a Machka kick. Rusev hits the Accolade, and Mike Kanellis taps out. Rusev is looking cut as hell. It's good to see him back. Although inexplicable in her absence, Lana isn't there. So I'm not sure if this is going to work into any type of story, or is Lana gone for a while? I don't know. We'll have to see. In an earlier segment, Glenn Jacobs, otherwise known as Kane, wins the 24/7 title from R-Truth. Then we have our next match, Rey Mysterio versus Cesaro. Before the match, Cesaro says if Mysterio's son comes around, he's going to end up catching the same beatdown as he's going to give to Rey. This is a pretty good match, another one with a good long run time. Rey Mysterio gets a 619 and gets the pin on Cesaro.
Hello?
Are we all of a sudden jobbing out Cesaro now? That's ridiculous. If anything, Cesaro should be one of the people they should be pushing the hell out of. Then we have another segment of Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt is hanging up a picture of Seth Rollins on his wall. Then in another package, it seems to be the AOP is now getting a new repackage. They're saying they're going to be bringing a lot of pain to the tag team division. Here it is. We have a triple threat match. We have the AOP on one side, Heavy Machinery on the other, and right in the middle, the Viking Raiders. Holy shit, that's going to be a fucking fight. But they won't book it, I'll bet it. We then have Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Early in the match, Alexa Bliss tweaks her knee and ends up getting taken into the back, leaving Nikki Cross to fight for herself. This, however, doesn't last long. She does put up a bit of a fight, but Sasha Banks locks in the Banks statement, and she inevitably taps out. Sasha Banks gets a chair, gets into the ring. Then Becky Lynch comes out with a chair, gets in the ring. They clash chairs for a couple of times. Then Bayley gets in with a chair. Now it's a 2-on-1. Then Charlotte Flair comes out and damn near breaks her ankle trying to kick Bayley. Flair takes Bayley's chair, and Sasha Banks gets laid out by Becky Lynch with a chair. Backstage, Sasha Banks challenges Becky Lynch to a Hell in a Cell match. Somehow, I'm pretty sure we're going to see this again next month at Hell in a Cell. I called it. In another segment, R-Truth gets his 24/7 title back from Kane. And in quick order, Becky Lynch accepts Sasha Banks' challenge at Hell in a Cell. We then have Lacey Evans versus Dana Brooke. This is an match, glorified squash match. Lacey Evans hit the women's right and added extra insult to injury by locking on the sharpshooter, and Dana Brooke taps out. So I guess we're not done with the whole Lacey Evans and Natalya shit. Great. We then come to our main event, Seth Rollins versus Robert Roode with Dolph Ziggler in his corner. This is another match. I mean, there was a good bit of action. Seth Rollins got the stomp, went for the pin. Dolph Ziggler breaks up the pin, causing a disqualification. AJ Styles and the OC come out. Now it's a 5-on-1 beatdown. Then all of a sudden, the arena goes red, and Demon Kane comes walking out. Kane takes out AJ and the OC. Then the lights go out. The Fiend shows up behind Kane, locks down on the mandible claw, taking Kane out of the picture. And then the Fiend stalks Seth Rollins into a corner, laughs a bit, and then we end with a distorted Firefly Funhouse graphic with the song. Okay, this is going to be kind of hard for me to judge. Match-wise, it wasn't really all that great. There were a few good matches, a lot of them stunk. I think probably only close to saving grace to this night was that Rusev came back and we're furthering the story with the Fiend. Now also when it comes to the Fiend, I really hope they're not going to be digging this thing straight into the ground. Because we all know how WWE is. Something goes over and we hit it, 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 we hit it.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
And we burn everybody out with it. I think it was better when we had the Fiend and the Firefly Funhouse and Bray Wyatt in little sporadic little bits here and there. I think it was good then, but if we're just going to keep going every week, every time we see him, every time, and it's just, we're going to burn out. I mean, it's cool that we're going to have Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins, but where do you go from there? The Fiend is over as hell, so you really can't have him lose against Seth Rollins, but if you put the belt on the Fiend, that means eventually he's going to have to lose, and who is he going to lose to? I mean, I really do hope they put the belt on him and let him run with it for a good long time, but once again, who do you have the Fiend lose to? If someone has an idea, leave it down in the comments. I'd love to hear what your thoughts about. But that'll do it for this episode of Raw Recap. I'll be back tomorrow for the SmackDown review. Leave a comment down below what you thought on tonight's Raw, what you thought of this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.